Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Catherine?
Better and good. Glad to be here. I'll start with an introduction while you're doing the tech. If it's your first time being here tonight, thank you so much for joining us on the Gratitude Girls free coaching and training. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers, affectionately known as RaRa, and I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from lovely Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And in case you hear my New York accent, that's where I'm originally from. I'm just loving living in wine country here. And I'm with my amazing partner who's doing the tech tonight, as always.
And I am Lori Delcradecki, and I am outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
We're going to get right into what is your word worth tonight? Like, think about that question. What is it worth? Is it a value of dollars? Is it a value of integrity? Is it a value of authenticity? Or do you not really even think about it? Like, I just do what I want. I met a woman who said, I say yes whenever I want to say yes. Now, that doesn't mean her word doesn't have value, but think about what it means to you. So, we talk about this a little bit, Lori and I, when we get together. We say, I'll see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you at 3. I'll talk to you at 10. It happens. For whatever reason, the universe does not get in our way. So, that could be an energetic value. So, what does it mean, Lori, to you when someone, well, let's say you give your own word. Let's start with that. Like you give your word to someone. How do you take that? Like, how seriously is that?
To me, it's very serious. I mean, to me, as soon as I make an appointment or anything, it goes on my phone, it goes on my calendar, and it's pretty much set in stone. I mean, every once in a while, yes, there's emergencies and things, but yeah, my word or someone else's word to me, I assume is that's final. And if nothing else, they're going to contact me if it has to change. But the same thing, that's like, I don't cancel things unless it's in a major, major, major emergency.
Right. I have a built-in system. Like we do this with Gratitude Girls. With Gratitude Girls, we're very authentic. You give us your word, we give you your word, and that's pretty much how it goes. I have another system that I use. It gives people the chance to digitally book, reserve, and then to digitally cancel. So if you're booking with me and you say, oh, I just realized I have to go pick up the kids at school. You can go in and reschedule and give the reason and choose a time that is available. It may not be 20 minutes after the appointment that you wanted, but it's an option. So I understand the change of circumstances. Now, if I have to change, I can do the same thing. I can go into the booking calendar and I can say, may we move this appointment to the one that's there and or reschedule it? Here are the choices. So what I'm thinking of is we build it in as a mechanism because life is all around us. But what happens if you don't use that system? Or what happens if you just say, oh, I got plenty of time. It's not that soon. I'll just move my speaking engagement. I'll switch the day of my retreat. 3 people can't come, so I'll move it. 2 people said yes, 3 said no. This means we're sometimes driven by ego as opposed to maybe heart, maybe the connection to the why. Because when we think I want, it's our ego speaking. I want to. And if we sit in contemplative, which I've done lately for many days, contemplation, I thought of it as laser focusing, like studying a language. For 20 minutes, I laser focused on one thing and then laser focused on nothing and then laser focused on the next thing. And I found huge clarity in that because I was giving myself my word that I would focus and have complete comprehension with staples in my head, complete comprehension under the circumstances so that I wouldn't miss it. So I sort of trained myself to look at things differently. Sometimes people, our clients, are busy looking at what's over there, not what's over here. And that looks more appealing.
Yeah, and like they say, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, right? The grass is greener where you take care of and nurture it. So if you're constantly looking for the better angle for you, what does that mean to your clients or customers that, like you said in that example, that have already said yes to you? They've already put that time aside on their schedule. They maybe even move something on their schedule to attend what you set up. And then now you're just going to arbitrarily change it.
Right. And the other thing that reminds me of is we've been doing this for over 13 years. It's embedded, it's ingrained, it's part of our Gratitude Girls DNA. When you don't let something sway you, it becomes easier with ease and pleasure and joy. When you're battling it, like we chose this time for a reason. After some, maybe we've chosen some other times. And this time allows us to be present, and our audience from whichever time zone they're on can be present as well or watch us on a replay. If it's a live event and we require a registration and a promise, and we move that, could it maybe lose faith? Could we lose face with those people? And the cost of replacing them is huge.
Right. Yeah. And absolutely. And like I have something else that came up for a while now that I got a call. I do a call before this one. And the same thing. And sometimes that call goes over, but I get off that call early because it's not early, it's the end of that call. But sometimes if they go over, I get off because I have the commitment here to be on this call.
Right. So you see, this is such a great example. You schedule it, and if something is longer, you don't say, well, that was longer, so that's why I'm late. My computer didn't start. I had it. There's all these excuses. We could write them down. We could write a book on excuses. When you give you, and if it means you have to get ready 10 minutes early to switch calls, then you leave 10, you do, or you just don't arrange it. Because I wonder, and we're not talking about like somebody waiting 5 minutes or 2 minutes once in a while. It happens. We're talking about deliberately not holding our word. Because when other people don't hold their word, it makes me wonder, like when I reserve that, will that be a time that I could be focusing on something else? So I do reminders and text reminders and opt in and say yes and da, 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 all that stuff. And still, I think it comes right from our solar plexus. I think we really have to know how do we approach that. Imagine having our grandkids and saying, I'll see you for breakfast and you show up for lunch, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Imagine telling our husbands, our partners, I'll see you at 10 and you show up at 11 and they're like, do you like it? Or scheduling somebody to come and paint the house and you're ready to leave when they come in, right? These are all little things, but it builds trust. So, what builds trust? Keeping our word or being never giving our word and just surprising people?
Yeah, well, and then what does your word mean if you don't keep it?
Mm, right. There's some damage control. I think we have to make that conscious decision that if we don't have an exit plan, how to exit with clear understanding, when we pull the plug, we're pulling the plug with the repercussion. There could be a flood, people could turn away, we could lose our own motivation. Because what if the thing that we scheduled, if that changes?
Yeah, exactly. And what if, so I have an example of that too, of, what if we just changed it for whatever reason, but you changed it and then, then that's it. Then those people are like, well, I'm not going to really put this hard in my calendar because what if it just changes again?
Right. Exactly. We both run different meetings and attend. So Monday nights at 9:30, I have another meeting and I have to be there, a couple of minutes ahead of time. No matter where I am, like with us, if I'm in another venue, I will find a room and put my tech up and get on that call. I have left dinners. I have left, I go to these dinners at the Verdi and I will leave the room, not eat my part of my dinner and go to my call. I could easily say, look, in 6 months we're going to be at, 9:45 or 10. But even that changes the vibrational tone. Like,
Hmm.
oh, well, what about in 4 months if you have something else that comes up? We're very smart in this in our marketing. This is our gratitude girls time. This is it. It's 9:30, it's 8:30, it's 7:30, wherever, whatever zone you're in, it's 2 in the afternoon. You can count on it. We don't change the time. We don't make that arbitrary decision. If we're hosting a retreat and we're in person, I do think it's important to seriously consider when we give someone our word, do we feel that we can trust them to be there too? And maybe it's, I don't know how that person's going to really show up. And maybe the vetting system of that booking needs to be a little bit more solid so that there's confidence that they're going to be there for you and you're not going to show up and maybe they won't.
Right. Yeah. And exactly like you just said, since 2013, we have been here every Monday night, right? And that's it. And that's our schedule. And people can count on that. And we count on each other for that too, right? And the same thing, every once in a while, maybe a major emergency comes up. But the same thing, how do you put it in your schedule? Like, is it for real in your schedule or is it, well, it's there unless something better comes up?
Yes, and you just said something for 13 years. It's the longevity. If you're in the honeymoon stage of organizing something and you start making changes and you start making changes 8, 9, 10, 13 years into it, it's a little different because it's like building a house. I'm on the first row of the bricks and I start moving them, or I'm all the way up and now I know the foundation is good, so maybe I want to change the pattern or whatever. But if we are not really solid in the constitution of what we're doing, we might be shaking our own foundation of how we are into it. To me, it's an indicator that I'm hoping something comes up so that I can find another way. Now, one a remedy for that, I would say, is build an exit plan. If you're doing something, look at your schedule, and if you only think you can commit to 3 months in advance, then only do that. I open my schedule for a year on a lot of things. All my networking events, you can book from today till the end of December. They're not changing. But the
Mhm.
personal coaching appointments, like we have to discuss that. So sometimes all of time it requires a discussion. So there are certain meetings. So if that sort of somebody shows up for free or they pay in advance or they've talked to you about it, whatever you need to really feel connected, I think that's important. Feel connected to people. And if you're not sure, just offer them a month or two and then take that chance and see if you can keep their attention. I like multiple choices so that people can actually reserve with me once a month for a whole year. That way, if they have to change, that's on them, but they've already booked and scheduled me. And I can actually refer them to people because I know they're going to show up. I can bring people to meet them. It's a great referral tool, having a meeting in advance.
Right. Yeah. And that just right there though too is, are you going to refer someone if they're
Mm,
known to not show up or to change inadvertently just because the wind was blowing a different way today?
right. Yes, and preparing. And this is a big deal, this technology, right? My computer this, my computer that, my phone that, my battery that. I heard a real good joke about Ray Romano talked about his son, and his son called him and said, I'm on the 205 and I'm 14 miles from home and I have 2 miles left on the gas gauge. And Ray Romano said, I'm home in my underwear. This is this a math question? And he said, well, let me stay on the phone with him. He's my son. And he said, and my phone's at 1% and I don't have my charger. And Ray said, what are you going to do? And they lost connection. And he said, I was getting ready. I told my wife, I'm going to get ready and go drive the 205 and I'm going to go look for him. And as he got out to the driveway, his son pulled in. He said, now why would he do that? He goes, and you want to know what happened? My son pulled in and said, I made it. He said, no lesson learned. He woke me up. He told me he had 2 miles in the gas tank. It was 14 miles from home, had no debit card
Mm.
and no charger and a phone at 1%. He said, he just realized I can coast. So sometimes there's no lesson in what's going on. So it was funny. Ray Romano's a comedian and he told it, really funny. So we should really acknowledge what happens to us and pay attention to it because there are messages there. Like, yay, he was a smart kid. He made it home. But he said, what if he didn't? What if the car ran out of gas and he has no money, no phone? He's in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother training topic on being prepared, right?
Yes,
So, yes. So, if you want to get with us and see our next training topic or any of our other ones or any of our past ones, you can always see them at gratitudegirls.com. And you can always see our live shows at facebook.com/gratitudegirls. Make sure you like and follow there. But you can also subscribe to us on YouTube and on TikTok and on the podcasts and wherever else you'd like. And if you need help in any of these areas, make sure to go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching. We help people every single week there. And then you can also email us at gratitudegirlscoaching@gmail.com.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lori, for today's conversation. Really made me think, made me think about the choices that we make. So, to our audience, thank you for being here. And I like to give hearts because I can. And I'll see you next week.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you.